Two guys from two worlds. This is the FlipSide. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel. All right. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Episode 66 up and running. How you guys been? Or how you been?
No, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Ready,
sorry.
set, go. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Good morning. How are you?
No.
Kumusta?
Sorry, I was all over the place here because I was also just clicking away. Anywho, I got a bunch of stuff for you.
Good. What's up?
Yeah, let me go first because I'm excited to just
Get
just
it out there. Go
barf
ahead.
these out. One of the things that I was thinking of while I was in the toilet getting ready for this, by the way.
Really?
Yes,
At the toilet. Okay, good start.
you
Good
need to know that I was in the toilet thinking about this. Lucid thoughts, when you're anyway. I was thinking we were talking about sort of skirting around talking about the idea of UFOs the other day on the last episode.
Right.
And then with your friend Jeff also. I realized that we should be talking about UFOs with your kids, with teenagers.
Why?
Right? No. I mean, for us, like we're like old fogies that are like, been there, done that kind of feeling. But I'm really curious about how kids, think about it, like process it, and how it changes their, or if it affects.
If it actually makes any kind of effect or whatnot.
Yeah. Wait, that's not important right now. I'm doing this one.
Okay.
I'm on the podcast. Okay lang?
Your TikTok there, huh?
What? What's happening? Oh, she's saying that our TikTok looks funky. What do you mean?
Look, your live it's a blackout.
We're black on TikTok. There's no screen, or there's nothing showing.
What do you mean there's nothing showing?
What do you mean there's nothing showing?
I mean,
There's
look.
nothing. Like that's who's this supposed to be? Jason?
I don't know. Everything looks okay.
But
here.
he's here there. I don't know.
Everything
Maybe
looks
it's just
fine on my side. Maybe it's your connection.
there. Maybe it's just his phone. There, it's working already.
See?
Gosh, it's not an emergency.
Oh my God. All right. Anyway.
Then, next time I'm gonna put a light bulb outside saying on the air, do not disturb. I'll lock the door, okay? Go. What else did I have in mind? Yeah, so there the
going back
UFO
to
with
the kids real
teenagers.
quick. Yeah, with the UFO. The thing is, with one thing I noticed with my kids, it's like, or their generation in general, it's not that they don't care, but if it doesn't really affect them, it's like, type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, you ask them about current events or what's going on right now, they probably can't even tell you what exactly is going on.
You know what? Maybe the sentiment between you and me and our kind of generation has probably been like, it's not that we don't care, but it's like you've been fooling us for this long. It's like, what do I care about that topic anymore?
It's old news.
Right. And it's like it's kind of like your parent telling you, I don't know, something screwed up, and then you're like, you know that they were bullshitting you, like, your grandfather's going to turn on his grave and he's going to look, run after you or something, just to scare you, just to do the thing that parent wants you to do. You know what I mean? Like mga pamahiin ng mga matatanda. Just to like, the duende is going to run after you if you go to that part of the house. And you're like, whatever.
What's a duende?
Duende?
No.
When you
gnomes? Gnomes?
Maybe gnomes would probably be the closest. Or if you go to, speaking of duende, when you go to like a forested area or maybe a bush or something when you want to go pee.
Yeah.
Here in the Philippines, they always try to encourage us, or encourage me at least, to say Tabi tabi po.
Yeah, okay, that I know. Tabi tabi po. If you're
Yun.
gonna step
So
over the little bush thing, just say tabi tabi po.
yeah, like so to ask, so like what does that even mean? Like, oh,
Right.
just to ask the duende to step aside because you're going to pee. Kasi baka maihian mo if accidentally you pee on the duende, they'll like throw a curse at you or something like that. And then I figured it takes 2 seconds. I'm unzipping my pants. Might as well say tabi tabi po at the same time. I'm not gonna lose anything.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I got caught on to that too because when we were in I first heard about that in California. Actually, we had to stop by somewhere while we are on a road trip so we could take a piss. And
Mm.
my uncle was like, "Hey, say tabi tabi po." I'm like, okay.
All right. Speaking of which, I forgot to record again. There it is. That's where it will start.
There you go. That's okay.
It's like flabbergasted by all the stuff that was going on a while ago. I forgot to click record on that one.
Yep. And then
So
go
there.
ahead.
So just going back to the UFOs. I was like sort of digesting like when we were talking to Jeff about it. I was like, yeah, UFOs, but I still gotta pay rent next month. So moving along.
Moving along. Yeah,
You know what I
I don't
mean?
know. Yeah, it's like it's actually kind of interesting, like how or what the kids might think about it. I mean, I don't know really. I can't really talk to my kids about current events that much because they get their information through social media, and sometimes it
Mm.
doesn't make sense. It's like
And
their main source of the news is either TikTok or Instagram or whatever.
and what they get from social media is like that's hook, line, and sinker already. It's like nothing. It's not
Right.
doesn't spark a conversation on the dinner table. It's like,
No.
yeah, I know about that already.
Yeah. Unless it's about I'm gonna dive into a little bit different here if you don't mind. Or unless you got something else.
Just one last point
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
go ahead.
UFOs. Why we're probably pissed off and want to move on for it and don't really care. Because like in the beginning, or maybe our father's generation, the generation just before us,
Yeah.
they were sort of like also excited about it. Did you know
Mhm.
that there was like a really big spike on the news back in the 40s and 50s about UFOs and
Yeah.
everything? And then
Yeah.
finally on the 60s, 70s, and then JFK got shot. It was gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of a sudden, no, nothing to look at here, nothing to show, moving along. And then so now you're really curious for like 30, 40, 50 years. We're really curious. And they're like, nothing's going on here. We've been gaslit.
Right.
And then now all of a sudden, well, maybe we could look into it a little bit. And we're like, whatevs.
Old
I
news.
don't
It's been before. They talked
know.
about it, what? Like you said, 1940s, 50s, and a couple of decades later, you're gonna continue it.
Yeah, you're gonna like bring it up again, and we're like, it's like we're maybe not rebelling but no, like we don't we probably have that I don't care attitude anymore because
Yeah.
can't trust
I
can't
think it's
trust
just recycling now. Everything's recycling back. Even with fashion, the way movies are made or the storyline, and whatnot. Everything's like cycling back. Even the news, old things are coming back, and it's kind of annoying.
but all thanks to the internet, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, without the internet we wouldn't know anything about everything would be filtered out.
Mm-hmm.
And then all I guess thanks to like all these conspiracy theory projects that they were running on the side that we wouldn't know about if it weren't for the internet. And
Right.
it's not like I've been like digging through it or anything like that. Not really. But again, it's one of those things where it was like, man, they're treating us like teenagers, but we're all grown up and adults already. So
Because
kind of
that's their
wondering what.
demographic nowadays. If you're not capturing the young minds or whatnot, it's
Hmm,
you're not doing something right. Well, I mean, for today's standards, that is, even for news, their demographic is the younger minds because they're the ones that are stuck on their phones and tablets all the time.
last
Yeah.
thing. Speaking of
Yeah.
being young, that's the thing that I was uh that caught my attention also about these whistleblowers. But they're
Yeah.
also young.
Yeah.
I would think that like a whistleblower would be Like a whistleblower on UFOs would be somebody sort of on his deathbed or something, or like,
Or at
oh
least
well,
60 years old, because or 50, 60 that have been there forever.
before I die, I realized that I'd finally tell you about what I saw. But no, it's young guys that are coming forward, so
Right.
that's kind of interesting for me. But again, I think that's what it's all about. We've been just
Now
tired
that
of
you
it,
mentioned that, though, that's kind of
tired of it
interesting.
already. Which
I
one?
mean, it's the how young the whistleblower is. Because
Yeah,
what's his name?
well,
Snowden? He's pretty young too.
that's another thing. That's another thing.
I
So
mean,
we can move on from that. I'll just don't mind me covering up my washing machine here.
yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's but now that you mention it, though, most whistleblowers that are coming out are at the young age though. Maybe they just don't want to risk the fact that they're finding out so many things, or maybe they just got sick of it pretty quick. In a way, though, it's kind of cool because somebody's taking a stance early on, so that it doesn't
Mm.
wait until later, right?
Funny about the rest of the people that are not whistleblowing, that don't have that kind of access, but from the
Yeah,
outside, we're kind of like, I didn't realize that bothered me, or I didn't realize that was important until there
yeah,
was a
because
whistleblower.
how would it affect you if you don't know what it is to begin with, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, they're walking around their base or wherever they are trying to find out information, saying "tabi tabi po" and whatnot, and then once they finally realize that what people need to know about this, it's kind of cool though. In a way, it's not kind of cool. It kind of sucks that they're ratting it out, but at the same time, it's nice because we do need to know this information.
Yeah, and then there's, okay, got that information, but
And then what?
I've been fine not knowing about it all these years.
Right,
So
right.
what now? But yeah, I guess it's interesting how it's all going to sort of unfold.
Yeah.
The one that I'm worried about is that it that nobody cares, or it doesn't come up to anything, and then it turns out to be
And what if it
another,
turns out to be a bad thing?
or no, another decade of nah,
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Like we look into it, and then there's like, nah, it just sort of fizzles out.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anywho, that's about it. In the meantime, your president. Did you know? I just found out about this the other day. Uh, Joe Biden, your president, he's
Hmm.
80. He's the
Yeah,
same
he's
age
old.
as Mick Jagger.
I did not know that. Mick Jagger's 80?
Mick Jagger was
What
born
the
July
hell
26th,
was that?
1943.
Was
That
that a
was my
victim?
that was my insect killer.
Jesus, that was loud.
And Joe Biden was born on November 20, 1942. So they're
I didn't think it was that old. I thought it was like 75 years old or something.
the same age. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Mick Jagger's still rocking it. He's walking, and then Joe Biden could barely walk, from his helicopter to the White House.
I
But
know. It's well, you know what? I don't think he's running anymore, so,
but I guess at least with Mick Jagger's dedication to working out, at least it's paying off.
yeah. Yeah.
That's just what I wanted to get on with that. What about you? Anything else? One last thing, which we can talk about later, not exactly now. The first Filipina to be on the Mongol Derby. I'll tell you all about the Mongol Derby later, but that's who's
Oh, yeah, I know that. I've actually seen that
right. So
on YouTube.
that's who Sol is. She's the friend of Celestina, and I'll tell
They
you the
know each
story
other?
later. Yeah, I know them. Yeah, we all grew up together when we were in Baguio. I'll tell you all the whole story later, but the
Yeah,
bottom line of what it's all about really is that she's the first Filipina to be on the Mongol Derby.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's all I got. And then I checked out the rest of the links that you sent me, which we could also talk about. I'm warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
do it.
I wanted to go back a little bit though on like all these other things that you brought up. Like one thing, in regards to you mentioned Joe Biden and whatnot. Really quick, I just wanted to say that there's so many presidential candidates for next year's election, which I'm very, very excited about, to be honest with you. Um, because it's going to be my actual first
To vote as a U.S.
to vote
citizen.
as
Wow,
a U.S.
nice.
citizen. So I'm excited about it. I've kind of been keeping track of the candidates. I've never seen a more culturally diverse candidate
Oh.
in my life, at least here in the US. There's actually an Indian guy who's running for president. And I am
Nice.
quite excited about that. I think it was this one comedian, I can't remember his name, Asian comedian, that said that we need to have an Asian representative in the White House.
Right.
I know I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but in a way, I kind of agree, just because historically, Asians will get shit done. You know what I mean? You put an Asian president in the White House, he will get things done. That I know, because it's not easy to buy Asian votes like that. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of these, like for example, one of the biggest reasons that Obama won as well at the White House was popularity votes. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that all of a sudden there's more African Americans that voted that year. I mean, it's going to happen no matter what culture goes into the White House. But
right.
having an Asian president, I think, is going to have an astronomical impact, not only to the country's well-being, but for its economy, because I think shit's going to get done.
Of course, you'll be voting for him for the what's the word for it? You'll be voting for him for his policies and the way he's trying to deal with things, not just simply because he's Asian, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, there's actually 3 candidates. I'm gonna name nameless for now, or at least actually 4, who are all in different, nationality or backgrounds that I've been following because their policies are good. It just turns out one of them is this Indian guy. But I hope that most people would vote that way. Realistically, it's not, because it all becomes down again to a popularity vote. And unfortunately, the Obama election made that very, very clear as well. Although President Obama was an amazing president. I was a huge fan of President Obama. And the one thing that I really loved about President Obama was the fact that he could relate to the American public himself. Do you know that he was one of the very few presidents in modern society that literally will just be working, like, I want to go for a walk. We'll literally get up, and walk out. He walked around DC. It's not even funny. Like there's multiple occasions where he'll walk out of the White House with his Secret Service, walking around with him, and we'll go to an ice cream shop down the street, get ice cream, and walk back.
Really?
Yeah. It's insane. He'll randomly walk through the lawns in front of, or the parks in front of the White House, and just see, hey, you'll see random people shake hands and take pictures and whatnot.
I never heard about anything like that in the news.
That's what. Well, yeah. Well, but he was actually. You can actually YouTube it, and it was just amazing to me. He was one of the very few presidents, at least in my lifetime, that I kind of believed had an actual connection with the people.
Right.
Even though I didn't vote for him and I did not get a chance to vote for him, it kind of like lit that fire inside of me to participate more in this having your rights to vote and all that stuff. It's kind of cool.
It's funny. That's what's lighting your ass. For me, this thing I mentioned about Mick Jagger and Joe Biden, it's lighting my ass to work out, to go to the gym. That's why I brought that up.
Hopefully you can catch up to them, huh? I mean,
Yeah,
at that age, one's running a country and one's still rocking it. Mick Jagger, though, dude. I mean, he doesn't really look that much older.
exactly.
It's kind of amazing.
Exactly. Again, what I emphasize here is he's the same age as Biden, 80. So
He's
here's
still
one that's
rocking.
80. Here's another one that, yeah, exactly. And
Right.
so there's hope.
There is hope. Another person that's actually close to that range, Steven Tyler. He's 75
Mm,
years old, bro.
I actually get Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler almost
Yeah, they
mixed
look
up.
alike in a way. Yeah, I get them
Yeah,
mixed up too.
but yeah, about 5 years apart.
Yeah. Um,
Whew.
Another thing to discuss in what you brought about how young kids are today. And
Mm,
I know this is gonna sound kind of crappy if she listens to it, which I don't think she does. She's gonna listen to it. So you know that Taylor Swift has been in this
mm,
Eras tour, right? All over the world.
right. Mm,
My daughter's been wanting to go.
mm,
I'm actually a fan of Taylor Swift. She's a great singer, decent actor. She's a good person and hearted person in general to begin with. And I wouldn't mind watching her concert, but for the love of me, my has been talking about it for like 2 fucking months straight now. Every
Hey,
time, and you know when something gets repetitive, it gets old, and you get annoyed by it. It makes you not want to do it. You know.
just like the UFO stories.
Well, but this isn't. That's not the same. You know why it's not the same? When I wake up on the way to work, it's what she
Mm.
talks about. While we're at work, because she's working at my office right now for the summertime.
What does she
It's
talk about it?
like I want to go to the concert. I can't wait. Did you know that? Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's like, okay, I don't know because yes, I'm a fan, but I'm not that big of a. I mean, I'm not like a follower. You know what I mean?
Right.
But um, and a lot of the stories that she talks about is repetitive stuff that she's already said before. You know, but when you're on your way to work, she's
Mm.
talking about it. When you get gas on your way to work, she's talking about it. While at work, you're talking about it. On the way home from work, you're talking about it. When you're at home, you're talking about it. It's a bit too much. And I
Mm.
kid you not, until about 3 days ago on Thursday, I kind of snapped a little bit, you know,
Mm.
because she was talking about it for like literally 12 days straight. I kid you not, like every day, every day. Like, oh, I want to go to the concert. And then more facts about Taylor Swift and all that stuff. And on Thursday, what made me snap was the whole day, besides talking about it every day, it's also what she listens to on the radio. So
What do you mean snap? Like you said,
no, I'm like,
turn that off.
no, no, I was cooking. And then all of a sudden she talked to her mom about it in the kitchen while me and mom were talking about it, or we're talking about something. And then she'll just butt in like, oh, mom, if you, did you know that you can get this? And if you sign up, you can get like, I was like, okay, enough. I'm a fan, but you talk about it too much. You're killing the whole mood of Taylor Swift for me because now I can't stand it. I can't stand having to listen to Taylor Swift. I can't I want to go to the concert, but now I know half of me doesn't want to as well. You know,
You're
because
ruining it for me.
it's ruining it for me. And it's gotten to a point where I told her, you got to give me a break. You can't talk about it every day for morning, noon, and night.
Mm.
And so on Thursday, we told her, just stop. You can't talk about it until Sunday. Anything at all about Taylor Swift until Sunday. But in the car when we're riding in, she'll plug her phone in and she'll play Taylor Swift again. I had to like tell her yesterday because yesterday we went to DC to a museum. I told her, stop, enough, you're killing it. You can't talk about it. And then, oh, can I ask something about Taylor? Can I tell you something? I'm like, no, stop. We told you until Sunday, nothing until Sunday. And then now being Sunday, oh, for fuck's sake. I know she's still sleeping, but she wakes up, she's like probably gonna start, yeah. I'm like about Taylor Swift. I'm a fan. I want to go to the concert. I love her music. She's a great singer.
Are you
But
going?
I don't know because the tickets are really expensive. So if we could get lucky and probably get like a ticket where it's a couple
Yeah.
$100, I don't care if it's in Florida. I'll drive my I'm probably not gonna go because somebody has to stay with the little girl, Arya, right?
Yeah, I was about to
So
say, so how does that work? You go to the closest venue? She's not going to Virginia?
no, she added some tour dates next year,
Mm,
2024. Okay.
mm, mm, mm,
Because
mm.
there's no more American shows or US shows this year, I believe. So, but she added some shows, US shows on 2024, like late 2024, October or November. And the venues were announced. There's one in Toronto, Canada. There's
Mm.
also one in Miami, Florida. Okay. Either or, whichever would be the cheapest one that we could afford, we'll probably, if we can get it, we'll probably go. But as much as I would like to go, I think it's just my wife and her because I can't. We can't. We have to watch the baby. Somebody has to
But
watch the baby.
by cheapest, of course, that means hotel accommodation, airfare,
Yeah, airfare,
food.
gas, and whatnot. I mean, it's still gonna cost a fucking arm and a leg just to go. I mean, the tickets could
Yeah,
cost maybe $200 each, but the whole trip could cost like $1,500. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's still anyway. I'm to be honest with you, it's right now. Even though I do want to go to the concert because everywhere I've seen, if I've read as well,
Mm.
that the concert itself is amazing, you know, and it'd be nice to see it. But if I can't afford it, or if we can't find somebody to watch the baby, it's okay. My wife can go. You know what I mean? I mean, the last concert we saw was earlier this year. Me and my wife, we saw Boys to Men. Boys to Men, ABC,
Oh,
BBD.
BBD.
Yeah. I need somebody. Oh man, that was a good concert, bro. It's like 90s flashback all of a sudden. And it was
Mm.
great. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. If we get lucky. If we get lucky, because it's expensive.
I
I
got
mean,
lucky seeing Alicia Keys here in. I was in Singapore one time,
nice.
and then somebody that I was working with said, "Oh, we got extra tickets. A relative or whatever friend couldn't go.
Mm,
You want it? Yeah, here. So let's go."
sweet. I've never
Alicia
seen Alicia
Keys.
Keys in concert, but is she good? I heard she was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. It's funny though because I was just like partial to. I just know her like New York song,
Yeah.
but
that
everything
was
else was.
that was it. Everything else was like, oh, I remember that.
I just remember it being surprised at how tall she looked when she was on at the cons on stage.
Yeah, yeah. No, she's pretty short though. Alicia
But she
Keys.
looked really tall on stage.
Right,
But
right.
anyhow, yeah, that was just one of my like American celebrity experiences.
Mm,
I
mm.
remember back in the days in the 80s though, we were following like Menudo and what's this
What
other
the
one?
hell, Menudo?
No, I've never been to
Jesus,
that concert, but
that
we
was
were
the
following.
90s, man. Was it
Oh, my
90s? Yeah.
concert
No, no.
experience was with Gary
Ah,
Valenciano.
how was that?
Yeah. Mr. Pure Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were my concert experiences
Right. I think the
when I
best
was young.
concerts. Well, there was this Rock the Mic concert that happened years ago over at Jiffy Lube in Virginia, not too far from here. It was Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent, Missy Elliott,
Mm.
Snoop was there. That was kind of cool. It was nice. It was fun. But I think the
Well,
best concert I've ever seen was Guns N' Roses.
bro, speaking of music,
Yeah.
should we bring up Easy?
Oh, dude. Have you been listening to his recording or
Yeah.
music?
It's funny because I've been on a music hiatus lately that I haven't really
Right.
been listening to music kind of thing, especially when I left the radio, wasn't interested in music, didn't want it to remind me of music and that kind of thing. You know who introduced me to Easy a couple of years ago?
Who?
My mom.
What? you
It's like, hey,
serious?
Noel, you like rap, right? And I'm like, yeah. Look at this, Filipino rapper. He's
Right.
rapping in Ilocano and in Bisaya and
It's
Tagalog.
crazy. It is crazy.
So
I've actually known of him until earlier this year. His video just happened to pop up on my YouTube page,
I
right?
think I think the thing to discuss here is not the talent necessarily, but just the fact that Eminem just dropped it like just like that. Like there's no build up to it. There's no teaser. There's no guess who Eminem's going to be signing next. There's no like marketing sort of
No,
build up to it.
just signed him
Done.
straight up.
It's
Done.
like
Yeah. Here's
here's why we signed him.
here's a
Done.
$2 big pen. Sign your paperwork right there, and then boom.
I wonder if it was planned or unplanned.
Well, I think that's how it happened with 50 Cent as well. Because 50 Cent was discovered by Eminem. Eminem was
Mm,
discovered by Dre.
right, right.
So, but I think it was similar to that. But still, man, to be in the same, like, all of a sudden you're under the wing of Dre and M.
Mm.
Whew. But I have to give it to him there. This Easy Meal. I mean, it's not like I'm a fan, but now I have to admit I'm a pretty good fan, pretty decent. He's good. I give it to him.
Yeah, yeah. I it's almost scary to see that there's so much similarity between him and M though.
Yeah.
You know how he grew up, the hardships,
Yeah.
turning his pen into a sword because he's so like did you see the Tony Gonzaga interview?
No, I did not.
So he was talking about how, he was working like at Burger King or something like that and having a hard time. So he'd like write down all his emotions and stuff and try to get through the day, by writing like on a, that piece of paper that you use to wrap the bacon
Right.
in a
Right.
Burger King or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was his like his notepad for his lyrics kind of thing. So in other words, he didn't, he worked his way up in a sense. And, yun nga, so from trying to turn his emotions or in his anger or his rage or whatever it is that he was going through and turning it into art.
Right.
And yeah, so and there's so much similarity, not in a negative way that he's trying to copy him, but so much similarity that these almost seem like they're cut from the same thread.
Mm.
And I don't know how I'm curious how that's going to play out in the future, in the sense that is he going to be um compared to M so much,
Right.
like the fact that he's Tisoy, and if he's Filipino, he'd be a little darker.
Right.
And that's another one of his issues, that he's parang white, by being Tisoy.
Right.
That makes him like as if he's, I don't know if people understand that kind of thing here in the Philippines. If you're pale skin or fair or white like me, for example, people look at you like you're not Filipino, you're not like, or
Well,
Tisoy, or
you're at a
or
different level is how they look at
you're
it
in a
as well.
different level, so
Yeah.
like you don't belong, you're not really Filipino kind of feeling. But like he said, I'm not Tisoy, I'm Pinoy. That's one of his lyrics on his songs.
Right.
But yeah, there's just so much similarity. So I wonder if that's going to be a positive or if it's going to be a negative in the future.
What worries me is I hope he doesn't fizzle out. Meaning, there's so many of these artists, especially. I mean, there's a number of Filipino artists that were signed before. I'm not talking about
Mm,
by Eminem and whatnot, right? But it kind of got
mm,
to their head. Some of it via ego and whatnot, and some of it just all of a sudden fizzled down
right.
because I've made it already. That's it. You know what I mean?
I don't know if there's any racism going on or what kind of animosity is going on, but I heard there's something going on with Arnel Pineda and Journey, and
Yeah,
how he's
that's
not be being treated. I don't know if that's got anything to do with fizzling out or not, but he's still there. He's still doing his thing.
Right.
I was
But
just
I
wondering
don't
what's
think he's
going
with
on.
Journey anymore, though. Arnell? Didn't he move on?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Basically, from what I've read and whatnot. So Arnel Pineda basically took over as the lead singer or the lead vocals for Journey, right?
Yeah, which was a really big thing, especially here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, he got discovered literally on YouTube just by
Yeah,
belting out this amazing song. And you know what?
yeah.
Good for him. The guy can sing. I give
Right,
him
right.
that. He's
And
talented as hell.
how'd you find out that did he split? Was he kicked out?
So there's been, I think, honestly, it came down to, it boils down to jealousy in a way, because some members of Journey, Arnell was rising up fairly quick. Journey's been
Wait,
around forever, right? It's an
you
old
you
band.
you read about this somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. Plus, I follow Arnell Pineda on Twitter
Oh,
because there's a lot of things that are being said about him by his bandmates that are borderline like people. One of them was like saying like, you remember where you came from.
yeah,
You know
like
what I
you
mean?
owe it to us.
Yeah, type of thing.
Mm, mm,
And some of these members don't realize, yeah, of course he's gonna know where he came from and he's grateful for it.
mm,
If he's still there at that age, rocking it and belting it out day in, day out, doing what he needs to do without any
mm,
complaint about it, you know, it got into a
mm.
point where when they're touring, Arnell had to like get on a different vehicle and
Oh
not be in
wow.
the same bus.
Oh wow. I'm
Yeah.
surprised about that news, and I'm surprised about the fact that you know about it. I didn't think that you would be the type that would follow. I'm surprised that you're following Taylor Swift.
It's not, well, yeah, because it's part of my everyday life. Jesus, if I hearing about it 24/7, you have no choice.
Wow. So it got so bad that he had to ride a different vehicle from his band, like a
Yeah,
different bus.
on multiple occasions, he was touring on a different vehicle. I think it stems down
Wow.
to jealousy because he's gotten so big. The
Wow.
Filipino fan page, and it turns out it's not just the Filipino fans that are loving him. It's really every Journey fan are really gravitating towards him.
That's Jason, Mr.
Yeah.
O,
Yeah.
up to the minute sa balita.
I'm telling you, man. But don't quote me in regards to him being with the a band. So I'm not sure, but I think it also came to a point where some of the bandmates reached out to the original, um,
The original singer?
singer. I can't remember his name. Stephen Perry, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and basically, I think Steve Perry is coming back, or he came back already. I don't know. Because now that he's saying that maybe I guess he just wanted it back, his old job back or something. I really don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, I don't know if Arnell is still the Journey frontman, but there was
Yeah.
a lot of animosity, a lot of arguments between the bandmates. And I really think it just stems down to jealousy. We all don't know the actual story since we'll probably never know. But
So I couldn't help myself, so I Googled it. There
yeah,
are articles back in February.
yeah.
Journey frontman Arnel Pineda breaks silence over band feud.
Mm,
February 12.
mm.
Lead singer American Rock Journey can no longer hold back from talking about feud between two of his bandmates that broke out earlier this year and became public. Tension continues to brew between the band up to now amidst Journey's ongoing 50th anniversary Freedom Tour, fueled with further
Right.
misleading reports, etc., etc. So funny, it's the shortest one in the group.
Yeah, he's really short.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
what the roots are to this argument, but yeah, I'm surprised that you know about this.
yeah. Maybe he's still there. I really don't know. But the feud was so ugly.
Mm.
It got to a point where it got racial and basically slapping everything into his face, into Arnell's face, basically. Like, I mean, for anybody to just say, remember where you came from, type of thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a really shitty thing to do. It's a low blow.
But this article is also saying that there's, I don't know if I'm reading it too fast and misunderstanding it, but he's also saying that there's no issue. I know.
Nah, I don't know.
I can't
I don't know.
read and talk at the same time.
Yeah, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but
Oh,
everything,
there.
everywhere I'm looking at right now, it seems like he's still the lead
Yeah, he.
singer. So
Okay, so let me just jump on his tweets.
yeah.
He says, "You people are unbelievable. Whoever's spreading rumor about me, not just his tweets, by the way, his ex. Do you call it his exes now? Because it's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Oh yeah, X. It's X now.
So,
Yeah.
so here's his ex. You people are unbelievable. Whoever's spreading rumor about me regarding the hashtag Greg Rowley issue are maliciously ignorant. I'm not gonna stoop down to your level." And then am with the band. I'm with the band to sing Legacy. If some of them are tired of me being with them, with all means, they can fire me anytime. And
Exactly.
don't lecture me about spiritual BS. Hashtag walk the talk. Okay, so there is something going on.
Yeah. That was earlier this year, I think. That tweet.
And finally, all I know is hashtag I've paid my dues.
Right.
So stop reminding me where I came from because it's my heart every day. You just don't pay attention. I'm not a slave. I'm a human being like anybody else. Hashtag wrong is wrong. Hashtag right is right. That simple.
I mean, earlier the year, there's a lot of rumors that he was either going to get fired or replaced, or he's going to walk, whatever it may be. I don't know if it actually happened. You know what I mean?
Last one here.
Yeah.
So much hatred, people. We're on the brink of World War III. Let's just spread love. Don't you think it's better to die being loved than being hated? That's February 9, 2023.
Who said that?
Arnell, that was the last text from this article that I'm looking
That was
at.
kind of gay.
Yeah. Don't you think it's better to die being loved than being hated?
Right. I don't know, but in any case, he's an amazing singer. I mean,
I guess
somebody so little.
I don't know what the real story is, but I guess what's showing on this article is that he tried to like dismember it a little bit, or he tried to not make such a big deal about it. I guess it was more of a hint to the fans, like not to make such a big deal about it, like just let it go.
Right.
But if you're saying that he got on a different vehicle while he was touring, did he get on a different vehicle because they told him to get on a different vehicle, or did he himself decide to?
I think he decided to do that. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. But on multiple occasions, it got to a point, based on the interviews or the articles that I read as well, it got to a point where he was traveling in a different vehicle. You know,
we gotta get ourselves to figure out how we can like play a video while we're doing this podcast at the same time, so we can do like a reaction to, you know, whatever it is that we're watching at the same time. So we're just not just talking to each other's faces all the time. We could be reacting to something else.
Right,
you know?
right. I think I figured that out though, but that's a good idea. We can do that. But
like whatever it is that you share with me, we can like sort of react to it at the same time.
Yeah. That's like having actually.
Yeah. Like it could be like a multi-layered podcast.
Or it's popping up another window.
Yeah, exactly. Can you do that?
Yeah. You want me to do that real quick?
No. Not if it's going to take long. Because if something else popped into my mind, if you want to segue into the Mongol Derby real quick. The other day.
Go ahead.
Was it just yesterday?
Yeah,
yesterday. Like somebody. So Solana's in Mongolia right now. I think she's in the middle of the race. I don't think it's ended yet. I think as in like right as we speak right now, the race is still probably
Isn't it like
halfway through.
a couple of weeks type of race thing? The
It's a
Mongol Derby,
one
because they're going across the desert, right?
and not a desert. It's like grassy fields, like the
Hmm.
hills are alive with the sound of music. Endless fields for horses to run.
Right.
What I understand about the Mongol Derby, and this is from what I understand from talking to Sol, it's a 1 week race because it's a 1,000 kilometer horse race.
Hmm.
But you're not using one horse for that 1,000 kilometers. You're using different horses, so you're going from town to town, and the distance is like from 50 kilometers from one station to another
Right. Right.
station, and you use one horse to get from one station to another, and then when you get to the other station, like you find a family. So you want to be first because you want to get first dibs on the horses that are available. You pick the horse and then
Right.
you stay over there for the night, and then you use that horse to get to the next town. What's
Mm.
Wild
wh-
horse.
and these are wild horses. And what Saul was telling me, what's tricky about this race is it's not just about being a good equestrian.
Right.
It's also about getting the horses to let you ride them, to tame the horse, to catch the horse and ride them. And they're like bareback, I think. If not, at least very dry bones, bare bones, basic kind of riding. It's not like, you're an equestrian with with your boots and with your helmet like that. But although they are wearing helmets, I think. But you know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
the typical equestrian Christopher Reeves type of equestrian. These are
Mm.
like wild horse. It's a wild horse. It's a wild. You're literally
So
free
they have to
roaming,
go
free
to a new
riding.
town. They have to go to a new town and get on a different horse. They can't use the same horse.
Yeah, because the horses are going to get tired.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So the trick really is not just get a fast horse. The trick also is, will you be able to tame that horse enough so that it will let you ride him or her?
Wow.
So when I met her, okay, so this is how I actually met her. Um, I knew of her because of the people that I was living with around, especially Celestina or Tan, which is why I wanted to get her on the podcast, right?
Mhm.
So they're 10 years younger than me, so they're in a totally different generation, totally different kind of playmates. When I was, I was 15 years old, 10 years old. They were 0 and 5, so they were like these little toddlers running around.
Right.
Anyway, when they were still kids, back in Baguio, they liked riding horses. They were that group. And then I was like, I liked riding bicycles, mountain bikes kind of thing. So we didn't really, they were the younger kids, and then my cousins and I were like the older generation.
Right.
Anyway, so from ever since she was 5, like 5 years old or however old she was when she started riding horses, she never let go of that up until now in her early 20s. Wait, if she's 20, I must be. So I'm 40. She's 10, 15 years younger than me. She must be, what's the math? 20, 25, 30?
How many years older are you?
10, 15 years.
10 or 15 years. So she's in her 30. She's probably 25 or 30.
Yeah, okay. So 25, 30. Anyway,
Right.
so I was on my way up to Baguio one time. Long story short, I was texting people saying, hey, I have a camera with me. I want to go out and shoot something. Can you, like show me something or someone that I can shoot?
Hmm.
And then Celestina said, oh, hey, you can shoot Solana. She's practicing for a horse race. And that's how I found out about it about 5 years ago.
Wow.
So she's been riding horses ever since she was 5. And then about 3, 4, 5 years ago, way before the pandemic and everything, she was already training for this race.
Right.
And so that's where she told me about it. And then the pandemic hit and it all got
I think I remember her because I do believe
got
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it got delayed. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, so the whole training was not really about just riding horses, like, jumping and
Yeah.
running the horse as fast as you can. That's not really it. Her training was really more about, you like that horse? Go get it yourself.
Right.
So a lot of the training was, she'd meet up with the
The
pony
horse
boys.
whisperer.
Yeah, that's right. So it's really a lot about, the way I understand it again. And yes, you got to be a good horse rider. Yes, you got to be able to camp out in the wilderness if you
Right.
needed to. That's
Right.
part of the training. But what I'm so excited and proud of her about really is that, and she's, you've seen Tin, she's like thinner than her,
Right.
she's like a toothpick compared to me. Anyway, so she's this really young, frail looking girl,
Right.
and she goes out and went out to learn how to catch and tame a wild horse so that she
Right.
can ride it and then get to the end of the race, because that's really what it's all about.
What's her whole name? Do you know?
Solana Lim Perez.
Solana Lim Perez. Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember her before because I think she started some kind of like a GoFundMe thing for her to be able to
Right.
raise funds to participate.
How'd you find out about that?
Oh, it popped into my to my social media page before. I can't remember which one.
Galing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was, renting and
I
getting
think I
all this.
donated like $10 to that. I can't remember.
Nice. So
Yeah.
this whole horse thing is, it costs money to do the training and everything. That's why she needed to get
Right.
to get some help funding, try to look for sponsors, that whole thing.
Right.
And and it's such a big thing because, again, 4 or 5 years ago she was working on this already,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a whole financial, Everest kind of
Right.
adventure expedition. And now there she is. She's in Mongolia as the first, and she just so happens to be the first Filipina to do it. I don't know if there's been Filipinos,
Right. To
males,
do
that
it.
have done
It's just
it,
so okay.
but according to her, she's the first Filipina to do it. So
That's pretty awesome.
and last we checked, according to the update, it's like she's on second place or something like that. So
really?
it's not even about winning or losing the race. It's really just being part of the race is such an honor already.
From what I just read, it's the longest horse race in the world.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's like an Everest of horse races.
Right. Can you
But-
imagine?
But a lot of like horse lovers, horse equestrians, professional equestrians
Right.
would like to join it, but a lot of them fall off because they didn't realize that you got to tame these horses.
These are
It's not
wild
just going to
horses that
be-
needs to be. Yeah.
And these are not necessarily like stallions. I mean, maybe there are. But
Yeah.
again, first come, first serve. So if there is a stallion that you like, you better be there first, because other racers are going to try to get
Right,
that same
right,
horse that
right.
you're running after. So
Man.
yes, it looks glamorous because you're running the fields of Mongolia,
Right.
but in between those stages, you gotta get the horse, feed it, make friends with it, and live with like a host family.
Right. Right. I mean, I'm hoping that they would at least do some kind of modern documentary about this because this looks really, really interesting. Most of the documentaries that I see here on YouTube are like 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, and it's not really, I don't know, we'll see, but it sounds really interesting. If she's in second place, that's really cool.
Yeah, last we checked. And the elevation, in case anyone can relate or be curious about it, the elevation, I think, of Baguio is about 1,000 meters above sea level. The elevation that they're running on now in Mongolia is like 2,000. So it's twice the cold of being up there. So she's used to riding in cold, but I wonder how she's going to fare with that kind of a cold, Mongolia cold. So
how come? Okay, 2023. Oh, 2024 is canceled. Oh no, that's a different one. I'm sorry. But yeah, um, they actually have another version of the Mongol rally, but the Mongol race. But this one, the other one is via vehicles. Did you know that?
Oh, on
Yeah,
in Mongolia? In
yeah. I
Mongolia?
just literally saw it. So
Oh.
it's called the Mongol rally, and it's via vehicles. The 2023 version, though, it looks like it was canceled, but I don't know.
Do, do they borrow vehicles? Do they take those vehicles apart and have
I don't
to?
I don't know. I just saw it and whatnot, but I'm gonna read into this as soon as I get a chance. It looks really, really cool. Um
For
Speaking
me,
of the
that's
first Filipina being on a race such as uh
mm,
I sent you a link. I just read
oh,
about it last night actually. First ever um for the junior Little League World Softball Championship 2023, and the Philippines are the champions.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we take a quick pause about that real quick?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
edit this if you don't mind.
Sure.
I really gotta go to the toilet.
Oh,
I
okay.
really gotta take a piss.
Go, 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 go.
How do we, I mean, I don't want to leave you in the air with this. How
No,
does
it's
this? Do
fine.
we
Just
stop the live?
no, just go. If I stop everything, then I'd stop everything. Just run real
Just
quick.
talk to yourself.
I'm gonna talk to myself.
Yeah, because I really can't take it anymore. I was drinking too much of
Oh.
this.
Okay, go.
You're gonna be able to handle yourself?
Yes, yes.
All right. Because I wasn't able to do it when I was with Jeff. So
Oh man,
hang
that's
on.
simple. Simple. That's easy stuff. Easy stuff.
Hang on.
Okay, we're taking a quick break because Noel is actually gonna go take a pee pee. He's gonna go tinkle. I'm gonna leave this on the last episode. I took a quick break as well because unfortunately I had an issue at the front door where I need to attend to. But now he's taking a quick break because he has to go pee pee. When I took a break, apparently Noel and our guest Jeff at the time were just staring at each other. So now I'm just gonna bash Noel a little bit. I'm talking to you, TikTok. Noel, right now, if you guys are joining us, you see an empty space or an empty screen next to me. He went to use the bathroom. I don't know. He's doing a number one or number two. Who knows? That's his fault for drinking too much coconut juice on the air. I don't know. Anyway, how you guys doing? Hey, Trey Cruz, are you still on? Thanks for joining us. Oh, there. He's back.
Right.
He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Have we gone overtime already? I can usually hold it for the whole show.
No, not even. It's just too much coconut juice. I just literally spent the last 45 seconds telling everybody that you were pee-peeing. That was a quick pee-pee break. By the way,
Sorry
nice
about that.
haircut.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks. Yeah,
looks good,
this
bro.
is homemade.
Nice. Did you put
Just
a
done
bowl
here at
over your
home.
head or what?
Nah, just have to hold my ears down. And that's just what needs to be cut, just the sides. We
Right.
don't even cut the top part anymore. So
There's nothing to cut.
exactly. So what's Little League? Yeah, I was complaining a couple of episodes ago about how Philippines doesn't really focus a lot on sports.
On other sports besides basketball, it seems like.
Yeah.
So 2023 Junior League softball World Series champions, Philippines. They
Mm.
beat
As in wait.
Connecticut.
World Series.
Yes, Junior
Not-
2023
not-
Junior League
not-
softball World Series.
Not Palarong Pambansa or Asia.
No, World Series. Apparently, the Philippines beat out Asia, so a lot of the representatives of Asia. So the Philippines was a representative of Asia
Mm-mm.
and beat out, I think, Connecticut, which is a U.S. East region softball team, whatever.
A lot of errors that they were committing in that game.
Yeah, there was a lot of it. Wow, you actually watched it and you understood it.
A lot of fumbles, a
Impressive.
lot of like
It was really
Right
good.
on.
It was kind of nice watching it. I actually um found the longest clip that I could find throughout the entire series. And the
Mm.
Philippines just played amazing defense. And they got this pitcher that's like a triple threat type of pitcher. Plays defense, pitches
She could
amazingly, and hits the ball.
she could hit, she could
Yeah.
catch, and she can pitch. Yeah.
Right. And it was amazing. I was just, I felt pretty, in a way, I kind of felt vindicated
Mm.
because of the 1992 scandal with the Little League World Series champions, the
Oh, what about
Philippines.
it? What
You know
happened?
how the Philippines won the World Series in 1992? Again, Little League World Series, okay,
Okay.
in 1992, but they cheated because they had older players.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I know about that.
It
I
was
remember that.
yeah, it was really messed up and whatnot. They cheated.
It's one of those like
Yeah. I mean, how do you
stoops.
think can you get away with that? You know what I mean?
Stoops. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I since then I haven't really been, every time it pops up and the
Yeah.
Philippines makes the grand stage, I follow here and there, but I never
That,
really got into it.
that's the thing that I was trying to say with Filipino sports. That we're not really funded very well by the government.
Right.
There's no funding and training, and when there is funding and training, like naalala ko lang, I just remembered there's like there's no funding for like the Philippine fencing team, and there's a lot of it is like
Right.
if you want to do training, you got to go to Korea. It's like what? Like like the team has to go to Korea and
Yeah,
spend for everything and spend, which I don't mind, which is fine. Go to Korea, but you're already part of the Philippine team, and you still have to pay for your
right.
hotel, your coach's airfare, all your equipment, all your food and everything. It's no vacation. Plus, your
You,
parents have to go because you're minors.
correct. Well, yeah, which makes sense. But the misconception there is here, it's not 100% funded by the government. It's a lot of mainly private funding as well. You know,
Mm, mm,
you
mm,
got
mm,
to spend money to go out there, schmooze, and get some donations.
mm,
Whoever's handling it in the Philippines is not doing their job right. You know what I mean?
mm.
You got to be able to have a small team that concentrates on that and reach out to a lot of these rich people and the wealthy in the Philippines. Honestly, I like thought about that a while ago as well. At some point, because I think we were talking about it and the show, and it just came to me that it's all private funding for the most part.
Mm.
Philippines is not. Yes, it's the rich people are, but the rich are the rich, and people can reach out and do what they're supposed to do if they present it right.
Mm.
I'm sure they can get somebody to help out. But these girls did an amazing job. Overall plays were amazing. Very few errors. But I think the key that they concentrated on was really defense. They did a great job. Unbelievable. And it kind of brought,
Basics.
yeah, the basics exactly. And it brought back kind of like the
It's like a simple base hit to the shortstop, and then it just comes through. There's
right,
like two or three of you there already, and
right, right.
like,
It was really nice though. I think you said it right perfectly. They really stuck to the basics and it worked out tremendously for them, and it was
mm,
great. It was great. It really brought back the fire on like how I've always been a fan of it. But 1992, that group that got the whole cheating scandal, it really
mm,
kind of dampened it for me. You know what I mean?
yeah, it gives you that sour taste. But yeah, that's what I was trying to get at with Filipino athletes.
Mm.
If we're good. I mean, we might not be the best, but they work hard
Oh, they're
and
there. You kidding
they
me?
really get dedicated to it.
Right.
Except
Right.
that you just don't feel that support. I'm not saying it needs to be like 100% support, but a lot of the mentality is like if the government's not going to make money, Kikita ba kami dyan? Like not like a
Right.
basketball court where you could put your name, you know, this was a project by Jason O, Mr. O, by the FlipSide podcast. If there's
Right.
no like
Right.
marketing or anything to benefit the donor,
Right.
it's hard
It needs to
to.
be built now. I mean, they need to realize that in the Philippines, and I think you nailed it on the head that nobody wants to take that risk because they don't see the ROI on it.
Yeah.
But I think they're missing out on that opportunity because in the Philippines, what's the great about the Filipino culture in regards to their sporting events or anything really, once they latch onto it, they're on.
Mm.
Just like how volleyball in the Philippines went up as well, like these volleyball tournaments.
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm, mm.
if they can figure out a way to market it properly, I mean, come on, how big is college basketball in the Philippines and volleyball?
Huge.
It's
Huge.
huge, right? So if they can figure it out, what I don't understand how badminton is a bigger sport in the Philippines than baseball or softball for that matter.
Oh, well, I think it's for the simple fact that baseball is outdoors and people don't want to spend a lot of
Uh,
time being out in
yeah,
the
because it's
heat.
hot as hell in the Philippines.
And
That could be it. Yeah,
badminton here is nice and comfortable, and
right,
you're in an enclosed space.
right. It'd be cool though if Philippine basketball team like Gilas Filipinas, right? It got to some point where they were making waves in the FIBA World Classic.
Mm.
So, but I don't know why they can't pass a certain hurdle. I mean, they're getting more and more naturalized citizens and whatnot. So I don't know.
Bro, I'll just repeat it again. My only gripe about everything that we said about the Philippines and
Mm,
sports,
mm.
like what do I know? I'm so naive about that, really. But the thing that pisses me off is the fact that we have 7,100 something islands. We know that we are surrounded by water. I think it should be mandatory for schools to teach their students, high school, college, whatever, to teach students to know how to swim. I think it should be mandatory. Like you can't um graduate high school or college without swimming lessons and I think driving lessons. Whether
Yeah.
you're going to drive or swim or not,
Well,
whether you're going to
driving,
do the
I can
activity or
understand
not.
driving not having, but swimming it makes sense.
Yeah, like it's a survival thingy.
Right, right, right.
Like I don't know when I was ay nako, basta nakakainis na. It's just there's just these senseless deaths sometimes or these senseless traffic jams sometimes because anyway, maybe I shouldn't be talking about traffic and cars, but yeah, for boat accidents that happen here in the Philippines,
Right.
it's really frustrating to hear that
They don't know how to swim.
people die because they don't know how to swim.
Right, right, right.
I mean, we can blame it on safety and security and the captain and poor business practices and all that. We can, yeah, sure, that's a given. But if you get in the water, there's a chance that you're gonna get wet. It's so frustrating because it could have been a preventable death. And I'm referring to the recent bangka accident off of Laguna Lake. I think 60, 70 people on the boat. Half of them practically died because
they couldn't swim.
I can only guess it's because they couldn't swim. I mean, what other reason would there be? It's a lake. I mean, yes, there was a wave, but
how big was the boat?
Not enough. Probably not enough. Again, I emphasize that it was a wave.
Yeah.
I mean that it was on a lake and not, like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
How big was the boat? I don't know. It's a really big bangka. And it was like a 5 minute, maybe a 5 minute type of ride. You're just crossing from here to there. I mean, if you knew how to swim, quote unquote, you could practically swim from here to where it is that they were going. But I'm of course I say this na with a little bit of hesitancy in
Frustration.
a sense na parang no, like parang like who am I to speak, right? But at the same time, it's like
Yeah, it's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. That I can't. When I hear something like that, like you, it kind of pisses me off because it all boils down to yes, safety as well. Why maximize it? Why not double check on things? That's the problem there too, though. There's so many what ifs. You know, did,
well, yun nga
did
eh,
the boat
because
owner do the due diligence and making sure that on a daily basis the boat's being checked, or
what
did they
I understood,
overcapacity the boat?
yeah, overcapacity. What I understood happened here was there was a storm brewing. I was telling you, it's been raining here for the past month, right?
Mhm.
And that's because like from one typhoon to another, it keeps coming. We're in that typhoon alley
Right.
in Asia.
Yeah.
Anyway, so another typhoon was coming, like literally on that same day or night. The water was swelling, and something to the effect of they all needed to get home. And I was looking at the island. There's like a mountain on the island. It's not like it's going to the tide is going to rise
Right.
high enough that people are going to drown. No, but everybody just wanted to go home because it was, the typhoon was coming.
Yeah, that's it. And probably the boat just over capacity, and
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what
Like I
sucks
was
about
saying,
that.
you can blame it on the boat owner all you want, the captain all you want. Yeah, sure, it was his fault, but it's just water. It's not like overcapacity up in the air. Like it wasn't like an airplane
Mm,
that if it breaks down your overcapacity, you're going to crash.
mm,
This one,
mm.
you're going to flip over. People are going to get wet, but they shouldn't have to die.
That's the other question too. Like, how were they sucked in, or they just couldn't swim, or people pile on each other? Because something like that, everybody goes
Uh
into panic. People will end up like pushing people down. You see what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Just to save
There's
themselves. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That you're already wet. Relax, calm down, figure it out.
na pero yun eh, it's really just a matter of if everybody just knew how to swim, you would have prevented a lot of that
Yeah.
death.
So I'm laughing, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Um,
And I remember when were you in my same PE class? I remember the instructor, he was saying, I don't care if you plan to go to the beach or not, we're going to learn how to swim.
mm, mm,
Yes, there's no ocean where we live right now, and you don't plan to go to Florida or any kind of beach summer vacation anytime soon. But we're going to learn how to swim in high school. We're not going to pass PE
yeah.
if you don't know how to swim.
That was big there in high school. PE. Some parts of it was about swimming, and they teach you how to turn your jeans into
Yeah.
a life
Survival.
vest. Yeah,
Survival swimming. Just basics. You don't have to learn how to like freestyle and
yeah.
be Michael Phelps, but just basic survival so that
You
if the
need a
boat
pool
if
to learn that though in schools, and most schools in the Philippines don't have pools.
right. But figure something out. Put everybody on a bus and swim like on the weekend or something. There's got to be something to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something it's a shame that they don't teach it in schools over there, but that's a little bit of everything that's not being taught in the school as well.
Just
Yeah.
treading, just two things: just treading water and how to get back on the boat. That's it. Or how to get back to the wall of the swimming pool in case you fall to the side.
right.
That's it. Yun lang.
Uh,
It's just
it's
yun eh,
frustrating.
swimming and sports. Like
Yeah,
those are two things that if you just support that, like our country would be a much better country.
definitely. Well, again,
That's it.
congratulations to those girls though for the softball team being champions of the Junior Little League World Softball Champions
Ito pa,
2020.
isa pa to. Di rin marunong lumangoy. Nakakainis.
I don't understand that though. See, I mean,
That's why we're
I,
going to start doing swimming lessons
you
because
can
of the
just
magaling.
teach her. You don't need to
Ay,
hire somebody. Just teach
hindi,
her.
yun nga. I will. I'm about
Oh,
to.
okay. Okay.
Yun nga. So she knows how to cook, but she doesn't know how to swim. We're going to
There's a
sort that
big
out.
difference. big difference. Hold on.
Na-trauma daw kasi kaya ayaw lumapit sa water.
Ah, no,
When
get
she was a
over it.
kid, when she was a
Chip.
kid, she almost drowned.
We
But
are.
in fairness to her, there's a bit of interest to figure it out.
That's good.
So yeah, going back to you before I interrupted, congratulating those girls for
Yeah.
winning. Yeah, I mean, if you think that they won because they were lucky, no, they worked hard for it.
No,
That's
they were good. They were good.
That's the bottom line for
Yeah.
what I was saying. And
I'm
they were
sure
good.
other places are going to end up questioning things again, if they're cheating or whatever. I think they're good. They just need to accept that they got outplayed. They were really, really good this year. That was amazing. Congratulations to them again.
And the nice thing that I like about, and I'm speculating or I'm assuming, but the way I see like Filipino vindication happens, we do it quietly and slowly.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the watch because you're America. You got the watch. We got the time.
Right. Touche. Good put. We didn't really get to anything in the bullets that I sent you.
Which one?
Everything that we talked about, that I wanted to mention at least.
We talked
about
about
what's going on over here. And did you see at least that Ann Curtis random interview on the street? That was kind of interesting, huh?
Speaking of Filipinas, yeah.
So yeah, speaking of Filipinas, real quick, on TikTok, I was just flipping through and I randomly saw this guy who is in the streets of New York interviewing random people, like what they do, yada yada yada.
The best part is he happens to be Filipino.
He happens to be half Filipino, exactly. But he had no idea who he was.
It's fine because he's living there, so he doesn't know that he walked up to a celebrity.
But it was kind of cool because it was so genuine, right? Out of nowhere, this guy randomly, again, not knowing who it was, stops Ann Curtis in New York City. Okay. Ask her the random question. Oh, where are you from? What you do? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm kind of impressed of like how looking at that interview, Ann Curtis just looks like a normal Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She looks like just a regular girl with the exception of the fact that she's holding a Tiffany's bag and a bag from her own store.
Right.
From her own company, which is still kind of cool. But it was interesting. And then this guy, a couple of videos later, puts a retraction on. Well, not a retraction. I guess on follow-up. Saying like, oh my God, this video blew up. I didn't know who she was. Yada, yada, yada. It was interesting. Yeah.
You see the regret in his face?
Yeah. It's more like, what the hell? Like, the shocker. Right?
Yeah.
And this girl is like probably like a multi-billionaire.
Regret or feeling stupid for not knowing who she was.
Well, how would he know?
No, not to his fault, but that's why celebrities like going out because they don't. That's why Asian celebrities like going out because in outside of their country,
right? Because they're not
they don't get recognized,
right?
You know what? Speaking of Asian celebrities, there was a funny thing that I found out the other day. So there's not the other day, but a couple of years ago, but we were talking about it the other day. Are you familiar with F4?
No. Who's F4?
So there's this group. Never mind about F4, but so there's all these Asian countries, right? But a couple of things that I wanted to mention about this. Some Korean shows are not actually shot in Korea. They're shot in a different Asian country like Taiwan.
Okay.
Which I think is cool because they're not speaking the same language, but they have roughly the same
look,
geography. I get the same look, so that's one thing. And then a lot of some Asian celebrities, let's say again Korean celebrity,
right,
might not live in Korea that they might decide to live, let's say, again, Taiwan or maybe the Philippines,
Yeah.
because they're not known there. And then if they're doing work or something, they just go back to Korea or whatever
Right. Right.
country that they're from,
Right.
just to, you know what I mean, to do their work, but they don't actually live in that country that they're known from. Like if, for instance, say Chinese, they don't necessarily live in China. They might
What
live in
what a lot
Taiwan
of
or Korea.
Filipinos, what a lot of Filipinos as well in the Philippines don't realize, or even Filipinos here in the US, there's a lot of Filipino celebrities that actually live here. I kid you not.
Right.
Once upon a time, when I still live in South City, I
Mm,
used to see Gabby Concepcion a lot.
mm.
I think at some point he was working at the Honda dealership near Colma. It might have been Colma.
Working.
Yeah,
Working.
yeah, working.
Okay.
Because it used to be one of the paths for me to go work because I worked at the movie theater down the street from the dealership that he worked by, and I used to see him all the time, just
Mm, mm,
randomly.
mm,
Like, hey, what's up, bro? And then Pacifica Beach,
mm.
um, where me and my friends usually have a bonfire on the weekend. Richard, what's his face? Tall, dark Richard Gomez, I think.
Gomez. Yeah.
Yeah, was always walking around the beach there with his whoever it is that he was with, you know? And it's funny, there's more and more Filipinos, and we're talking about Filipino celebrities
Mm-mm.
that are actually living here. That, like you said, will go home to
Yeah.
work or whatever,
Mm-mm.
Like Ann Curtis, she probably has. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a house in or an apartment in New York.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You know, Will Dasovich still lives in San Francisco for the most part. And
Mm.
Mads, or what's her name, Madeline something. I don't know, some actress, the one that hangs
Mm-mm.
out with Solène Husaf all the time.
Okay.
But
A
anyway,
girl?
yeah, yeah,
I
some
don't know
girl.
her.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
But my point is, they always they're always running around here in the States. And I used to see, what's her fame, Rufa May Quinto, I think, a lot as well in San Francisco. I
Ah.
never really get starstruck though. It doesn't matter if they're Filipino actors or actresses or American actors or actresses. I never really, and like I said, that's kind of the weird thing too. Like Michael Jordan, I used to see him all the time in Bethesda. I used to play pool at this pool hall called the Shark Club, right? In
Mm.
Bethesda, when I used to live there in Maryland. And that was the time where Michael Jordan was playing for the Wizards. And he used to go to that pool hall all the time. I'm like, oh, hey, Michael Jordan. So whatever, just the greatest player of all time. I didn't even bother going up to him and asking for a picture, because when he would go there, he would just go to the back table with
Uh-huh.
whoever he's with, and nobody's bothering them. And I didn't want to be the asshole that was like, hey, Mr. Jordan, can I take a picture? I didn't want to be that guy. I never did. You know, there's this, and
Wow.
at that same place, there's a couple of Redskins football players that hangs out with.
Mm.
Never really took pictures. At one point, it was my birthday. I had it at that bar. I was able to wear a Super Bowl ring from one of the
Oh,
players. He told me, dude, here, wear it the rest of the night. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't
does it
like,
give you extra powers, or like, does it
it's
make
just,
you?
it's a ring that costs as much as a house or a car, basically. All right.
Doesn't
The
even tell
ring,
the time?
yeah, the ring was so fucking big that I had to put it on 2 fingers. I'm not kidding. It was that big, Super Bowl ring. And then put it on. I was like,
Mm.
wow, fancy, so shiny. And then, that's it. And I've had so many encounters. I don't know how we ended up in this conversation, but I had so many encounters with
Mm.
either celebrities or athletes that it just never really got to me, with the exception of one guy that I kind of fanboyed out, really. Robin Williams. I don't know
All right.
why
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
I
You
think I told you
mentioned
about
that.
that when they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just sucks. I really wanted the picture with him, but we couldn't do it. You know, I was just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Rob." I was actually yelling out his name, trying to get his attention to come by. And he saw us. He saw us. But he just waved.
We got into this because of the Ann Curtis video.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry.
but yeah, the
Anyway.
one that the one that really caught my attention. I mean, the Ann Curtis video was just nice, but
Right.
the one that caught my attention related to that guy was his follow-up video
Yeah.
where
He was like,
basically it was like a face palm, like
yeah. Like,
made
well,
such a
I
fool of
effed up.
myself. Yeah.
I
So
effed up.
right, but yeah. So yeah, why did you want to bring that up? What was that about?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because it was kind of cool. Where it was just nonchalantly, she's just walking around New York City, and this guy
Yeah,
randomly picks
that
him
was
out of all the
wasn't like
strangers.
at least 3-6 months ago that video came out.
Probably, I just saw it like a couple of
It's
days
been a
ago.
long time. Yeah, yeah. No. I mean, there's already been a follow-up video. So
Yeah, yeah.
what else did you send? What else did you want to mention or talk about?
Now, the other ones are kind of too serious to talk about now. It's been like a light version of conversation. I wanted to follow up Walmart in the Philippines. On the last episode, we talked about it.
Oh,
So there was actually a plan at some point to have a Walmart in the Philippines.
a
There was
plan.
actually, yeah, to a point where um the company already had selected a location, already did this and did that, but
And they backed out. Yeah.
they backed out because of that other brand, the similar brand. What you mentioned it? I can't remember what's the name of it.
Walter Mart.
Walter Mart, yes, yes, because apparently Walter Mart is like a Walmart, but the big Walmart, the version of the Philippines,
Mm.
and they were afraid that the similarities would be, too much and whatnot.
I remember now the sad thing that you want to talk about, but I think I want to mention it because I saw the video too.
Yeah. Which one?
I saw the title. It said Streets of Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
But I want to mention it that I saw it because the first at least 30 seconds, 45, 1 minute of the video, first, I swear to God, I thought it was Divisoria or Quiapo. I was like, are foreigners living in Divisoria now?
Right. Right.
Because of all the garbage and everything. So that's one of the comments that I saw on the video that you sent. Actually, I mean, yes, there is a drug epidemic, opioid epidemic, whatever's happening, but there's no excuse for all that garbage on the street.
That's what you're looking at. Jesus Christ.
No, that's what the comments. I'm getting
one
that
of the
from one
comments that was
comments.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the crazy thing. When we do the closing later, we're going to short it. We're closing down because this conversation we're about to have right now, I'm going to cut it and do it separately. Okay. As an episode.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be a separate episode. It's just an additional clip. But yesterday, I took my family for the last couple of weeks. I've been taking my family out to DC to visit museums and, just to have some weekend time together. Last week we went to the
educational tours.
art museum. Yeah, not really, but it's just nice. But yesterday I decided to go to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington D.C., where
Did you
they
find
would.
any UFOs?
No, I did find the very first, which is part of the newest part of the exhibit, I guess, with the Amazon drone, the delivery. That was kind of cool. Looking at it, like I didn't realize it's that big. It's huge,
Oh.
But before that, well, actually, let me do that first. So, the Amazon drone, it's huge, right? It's so big that it's bigger than maybe double the size of the desktop that we have. I didn't realize it's that big. Then it dawned on me, it's picking up a big package to be delivered. And they also had on display the drone medevac that they're using to deliver medical supplies, which is kind of cool. That was nice. But the Air and Space Museum in DC is basically the beginning of flight for the US, with the Wright brothers in the early 1900s. The actual plane that they got on is on display there. They also have displayed the Mars rover, which was kind of cool.
Everything you have to look up. I remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We
you've been
went.
there.
Yeah. Again, no, they didn't display any drones. I mean, UFOs. They didn't
No,
display
no,
any
no, no,
UFOs.
no. They had Star Trek. That was with the closest, and Star Wars.
Oh,
They
oh,
had
but that
Star
was a
Trek and
that's
Star
a
Wars.
that's a hint. See,
Yeah,
they're like,
that's the closest one. And
so
for
you don't
some
get
reason, the
surprised.
Star Wars exhibit in relation to the planetarium was a little was closed yesterday for some reason. Whatever. But
So
there's some kind of connection there. All right.
go for
Um,
it. You were saying, yeah, is this going to lead back to Philadelphia?
yes, yes. So, but anyway, it was fun and whatnot. But when we got there, right, we were lucky enough to find parking literally in front of the museum, right? So we had to get out and walk to cross the street.
Okay.
We had a first-hand encounter in one of these zombie drug and whatever person, you know, in front.
What? Where are you at again?
We were right in front of the museum,
Sorry. What state is this at?
Washington, D.C.
Okay. Okay.
There was a guy that was literally just like a zombie, like what's going on in Kensington, Pennsylvania. It was kind of
Okay.
freaky. I mean, he was just standing there like you know, moving like really. He was slouched. He was like a zombie type of thing.
Zombied out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he was infused with the same thing that's being used on in Philadelphia, but it was kind of scary, dude. Honestly.
Do
I
people
mean,
like that get violent, or they seem to be just enclosed in their own world?
yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, you know. I mean, everything that I've seen online, they don't show
I
like
mean,
the violent side of it, but it was like zombie
I
like.
I mean, when they're high off of the drug, they look like they're not violent. But I
Right.
guess you become violent when you're really craving for it and wanting it.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
could be it.
why
Yeah.
that's why crime rate has gone up and
Right. Right.
all these things has happened. So you had a
I had a
face
first
face to face
firsthand-
experience with a zombie.
Yeah, that was, and I didn't even really notice it. My wife was the one that pointed it out to me, and then I eventually looked over and whatnot. And dude, that's no
Mm,
joke. I'm like looking at it, and this guy is literally like slouched down, standing there like this, and he was like, and
mm.
he's like swaying back and forth, kind of marching slowly like a zombie, but in the same position,
Mm.
in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, you know, you saw the video. Like those guys were just like, oh, you know, and it was just like that. This guy was, and the weirdest thing is, besides the fact that he was like that, he was literally in the middle of the sidewalk. That's it.
So you
You know?
couldn't avoid him.
No, you couldn't avoid him. And people were like literally walking around him, you know, and I was like, it was kind of, it was a sight to look at, to be honest with you, because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. Because what and the whole zombie idea just popped in my head. I'm like, holy fuck, what if this whole city's riddled with it? Just like what's going on in Philadelphia.
So yeah, that's just one person, but imagine
That's just
a
one
whole
person.
neighborhood
Yeah.
of zombies.
Can you imagine though how it is? What's going on over there? I mean, I don't know. It's scary. Anyway, we are
I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about here, but I mean, I understand a few problems here and there.
Yeah.
But, you know, just like, again, one of the comments said probably on the video was like, how could it get this bad? Like somebody dropped the ball somewhere. Somebody's not doing his job. Like, yes,
Yeah.
there's a few people that get addicted and, you know, commit some crimes, but this one is like a whole neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like an entire section of the city. They're
was
calling it
allowed-
zombie land.
That it was allowed to happen
Yeah.
and get that bad. So yes, you know, there are people that go through things like that every now and then, but how could it be the whole town,
Right.
the whole neighborhood? Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, like I said, when I first saw it, I thought it was Divisoria. So
Does it look like that in the Visores still?
not the drug. I mean, they don't. I don't see any drug addicts there, but
But
it's
just
the
the
garbage.
yeah.
Sometimes the garbage gets this bad, that bad, because
Wow.
like all the lahat ng paninda nila, everything that they're selling is like right in the middle of the street.
Mhm.
And then if police come or they need to leave or whatever, all the garbage gets left behind.
Right. What
But
sucks? Yeah.
you know, there's a garbage truck that passes, and every now and then it's clean. But this one, it looks like it's just there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know where
Anyway.
you're gonna put that on your editing, but
I don't know. I'm gonna put it separate, completely separate. I'm gonna cut the edit that we're about to do and then add it to the before this conversation.
you're getting fancy.
No, it just sounds better. Like editing an episode now takes me about an hour and a half, which is not that bad. Yeah.
Hour
Anyway.
and a half?
Why?
Sounds like a lot of work.
Dude, you need to get that added. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching episode 66 down to till. We appreciate your time, your whatever. Keep supporting us, hopefully.
Go
Anyway,
Philippines.
yes, congratulations again to Seoul and the girls 2023 Junior League Softball World Series champions, Philippines. What? Yeah. Okay.
And congratulations to Mr. What's his real name? Ezekiel? Easy.
I don't know, but it's Easy Mill.
Yeah.
Easy Kill. What the
No, Ezekiel. No. Ezekiel is like a
Ezekiel.
Not Kill. Ezekiel. Yeah, I think that's his real name or something.
I really don't know his real name.
Thereabouts.
Anyway,
But,
congratulations to him too. All right, guys.
Signed with
Thank you very
Eminem.
much. We'll catch you on the next episode. Again, this is the Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
Bye-bye. You can
can catch the full episodes on youtube.com at The Flip Side with
Stop.
Jay and Noel. Full episodes uploaded every Wednesdays and Saturdays.